Good day. It's the 3rd of August. I'm Michael Bendner with the Center for Fiscal Equity, and these are our video comments to match our written comments to the Committee on Finance on a system in need of repair addressing organizational function failures in the U.S. organ procurement and transplantation network. At first blush, the consideration of this issue by the committee is puzzling until one draws the connection between Medicare and organ transplants, including establishing universal health care and funding it. Please see the following attachments, as well as the second part of the submission for discussion of these topics. All of these are in the discussion. There are links both to our March testimony to comments to Ways and Means and our usual tax reform and single payer linkages as well. So, other than its impact on Medicare and affordable care, we are leery of any congressional involvement in this issue, meaning organ transplantation. Indeed, it is currently based on science and best regulated by medical professionals. Even without intervention, putting pressure on the system is ill-advised. With political pressure often comes pressure from donors. The beauty of the current process is that the ability to pay is not part of it. Of course, if there are abuses on this front in the current system, they should be looked into and dealt with by the Congress and this committee. Even with the best of motives, adjusting the process, even if flawed, does not resolve the issues facing organ transplantation. There are simply not enough organ donors, and the system, which relies on voluntary donation for its legitimacy, would not be helped with economic incentives, especially as these would be more attractive to the poor. This borders on abuse. Not only do we exploit the poor in life, incentives would continue this exploitation in death. Imagine the dystopian implications of such a thing. So ultimately, the solution is better science. This is where government involvement can help and where issues of fiscal equity come in. Any treatment must be provided to all, regardless of the ability to pay. While the private sector may be helpful in developing treatments, government-funded research would help the process and assure equity. A promising solution is the use of retargeted stem cells, either grown on cartilage or injected into the sick organ. Both would render donation and its possibility of rejection to the realm of temporary solutions, as would artificial organs. Sure, when you're waiting for an organ to grow, you can, get an artificial organ, but of course you wouldn't keep one. Research in this process can always be sped up with more government money for NIH to make sure everyone can benefit from advancements such as 3D printing to create cartilage on which to grow stem cells from outside or inside the body. Research in actual organ generation can be publicly funded. Public organ manufacture, because of its expense in every single case, is likely better than relying on for-profit medicine. Yes, it's obvious. If you have any questions about why that's obvious, send me an email. As we have stated before, most recently in March of this year, but also in 2019 and 2020, orphan drug research and manufacture should be owned and managed by the federal government. The same path can be taken for the development of cloned organs. If the government owned the process, profiteering would be minimized. To facilitate cooperation and speed the process, creation of a quasi-governmental enterprise would be useful. It would combine NIH, National Science Foundation, and the FDA. And then I repeat our previous comments on the hearing on drug pricing for Medicare, prescription drug and price inflation. The video again is linked. We go from the main problem with high drug costs to as well as regulatory costs. And then another way to assure equity in the growth and distribution of cloned organs, healthcare reform is essential. Again, we repeat our comments from March, starting with universal coverage and ending at the end. The issue is price, not cost, related to drugs. Believe me, the system will, and that ends the text. The system, of course, will assure a low cost if there's capitalism involved. But but they'll keep the price high because they'll expand profits. If the government does it, there's no profit motive. So, somebody who really needs an organ, they can get one. We'll get their organ. In any case where you're doing stem cells, it's an individual process. It's everybody's individual genome must be mapped, and if you're going to do that, it's expensive, and the best way to share that expense is publicly. So, and that's that. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the August recess, and work out, build back better. Anyway, we'll talk about. I've shared my opinions on that, and I will continue to share them. Again, have a pleasant day.